SportsCenter.
The ailing champs try to find a cure in San Antonio, but with the Nets' fast break make the Celtics sick again. Air sickness in D.C. The Wizards cut Jordan. What's next for MJ? In the wild, wild West, the Canucks look to keep a trend alive. Do the Reds have any heroics left in the cards? No love here, but would there be any drama at Shea? The Red Sox induce a royal collapse, and Barry shares the stage in Florida. Break up the Tigers. Sweeping into SportsCenter now.
For you. That is John Anderson, and I'm Linda Cohn. We'll get you back out to Minnesota in a bit, and we'll be all over the Laker game when it ends, or should I say the Spurs game. But first, another game, too.
Right, even though in hockey they're going to have a Game 7. But really, let's not wait around on my account. Roll the tape. Let's go right to New Jersey. Nets, 1-0 lead on the Celtics. Second quarter, Nets down 1. Lucius Harris getting the members bounce. Nets take the lead 30-28. Later in the second, Celtics answer. Antoine Walker just 3 of 15 from the field, so he makes the wise decision to pass to Tony Battie, who had 15. We're even at 30. Late second quarter, Jason Kidd leading the break, gives it to Kmart. Nets 15-5 run, final 4.5 to take a 6-point lead at intermission. Then Richard Jefferson to Kmart. Pretty basketball there. Nets up by 16 later in the third. Kidd 2 for 2 from deep. That three-pointer makes it 76-63 in favor of the home team. Kidd then hits the runner in the lane. He had a full box score as always. 23 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. The Nets up 14. Fourth quarter, Celtics trying to whittle away at it. Tony Delk's 3 will help. 6-point game at 82-76. Later in the fourth, same numbers. Paul Pierce, one of his 11 assists. Tony Battie, 11 assists. That's part of a 32, 10, and 11 triple-double for Pierce. 4-point game. Kerry Kittles, though, makes a handful of point lead up to 8. He had 16, 3 of 5 from distance. And then that last shot was a sealer. This one just to show it off. 25 points for Richard Jefferson, 104-95. Nets go up 2-love. Pierce needs some help up front. Celtics starting front court of Walker, McCaddy, and Battie outscored by 23 points in this one. The trio managed to get to the line only 4 times. The Nets front court starters, Jefferson, Martin, Collins, reached the stripe 18 times, hitting 13. Later on, SportsCenter extended highlights of this game, plus locker room reaction, analysis from our NBA expert, Fred Carter. The playoff coverage you count on, delivered in full in just a few minutes.
Breaking ball, there's a drive to left field. It's gone, it's over. It is caught. It is gone. Boone wins it in the ninth.
And Larkin swings and hits a drive. Deep left field. This one belongs to the rim. Barry Larkin comes back to the lineup for the first time since the 14th of April and lines a home run to the lower deck and left. For the second night in a row, the Reds have pinned the loss on St. Louis with a bottom-of-the-ninth inning home run.
The team that defines saving your best for last, the Reds, the Cardinals. Ken Griffey Jr. coming back from a separated shoulder. He shagged fly balls. Jason Simon Tachi on the hill. 4-0 career record in May. 1-0 this season. Boone, that's over the wall. His 7th of the year, 1-0 Cincinnati. No drama there because it was the beginning of the game. Bottom of the fourth, still 1-0. Boone on first. Adam Dunn. Simon Tachi tries to pick off Boone. Got by Tino. Boone goes all the way to third. The first career error for Simon Tachi, ending the Cardinals' streak of 63 and 2/3 errorless innings. Boone would later score. 2-1, Cincy, 2 out. Nobody on for Boone. Hits him. Next batter, Adam Dunn. They call him all or nothing. Well, they should. It's his 10th homer of the year, but he's also struck out a Major League leading 47 times. The Reds with their National League leading 50th homer in 34 games. 4-2 Reds. Closer turn starter Danny Graves leads to a standing O, just 5 hits allowed in 7 2/3, his longest career outing. Kent Mercker comes in relief of Graves. Mercker facing NL batting leader Jim Edmonds. Mercker getting Edmonds to chase to end it. Cincy wins the 3rd straight win against the Cardinals for the Reds.
Phillies, Diamondbacks. Kevin Millwood throwing for the Phils. Standout rookie Brandon Webb for Arizona. This would be Millwood, bottom 3rd. D-backs up 1-0. Junior Spivey, fly ball. Oh, Ernest, you're going to get robbed by Pat Burrow coming in. He's got it. Soft grass there at Bob. Top 4 man on, nobody out. Bobby Abreu against Webb, and Abreu goes deep to left. Quentin McCracken is out there trying to make the catch, and he just ain't got enough height. 2-run homer for Abreu. Webb, 6 hits allowed in 15 innings. There he gives up the 2-run homer. You saw Luis Gonzalez. He got the day off. 5-7 McCracken, not quite there. Gonzo's 6-2, and he's got a mitt full of catches at that wall. Fills up 2-1. 3 batters later, Tyler Houston off Webb, and that is way deep to center. His first home run as a Philly, first since June 23rd of 2002. Webb leads after 7 innings, gives up 3 runs. Bottom 4th now, man on, 2 outs for Alex Citron. You know, 2 outs hit, 2 out hits will get you to heaven. You strike out, not so good. Millwood, 4 hits, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts in 7 innings. Bob's bottom 8, 5-2. Rio Cormier on. Cormier's first pitch. Tony Womack to ground into a 6-3 double play. You got to hurry because Tony's still quick. Next batter from Kraken to Tomas Perez. Cormier out of the 8th and 5 pitches. Jose Mesa gets a save. His 10th in the 9th, although giving up 2 hits. Phil's win at 5-2. Millwood now 5-1.
Giants looking to send the Marlins to their 5th straight loss. Josh Beckett 2-0 in his career against the Giants. Top 1, bags full, 2 out. Beckett walking Benito Santiago. Rich Aurelius coming around to score. 1-0 Giants. Josh Beckett aggravates his right elbow. He'd leave. Remember, the Marlins already without 2 starters who are injured. Meanwhile, Damian Moss on the hill for the Giants. He's 4-0 this year. Bottom 2, Moss has it going on. Ask Brian Banks about that. In the 3rd, 2 out, runner on 2nd. Moss strikes out Ivan Rodriguez. He went 6, did Moss. 1 earned run, 5 hits, 5 Ks. The night would only get worse for Irod. Top of the 6th, Rodriguez attempts to pick off Durham. Ball goes into right. Marquise Grissom scores all the way from 2nd. It's 3-0 San Francisco. One of the reasons why the San Francisco Giants are the best record in the NL. Bottom 9, 3-2 Giants. They find ways to win. Irod representing the winning run at the plate with a runner on 1st. And Tim Morrell forces Rodriguez into the easy grounder. 0-4. Giants win. What about Damian Moss? He's the story. Would you believe that Moss is the best record in the NL since last year's All-Star game? Believe it? He does. Moss is 13-3 since last year's break, just ahead of Kevin Millwood, who also won on Wednesday. Moss, the first Giants pitcher to start 5-0 since John Burkett in '93.
The new Crimson Tide football coach may be rolling in as soon as tomorrow. Prominent Alabama booster telling ESPN Radio's Todd Wright that Dolphins quarterbacks coach Mike Shula will replace the recently fired Mike Price, and that the 2 sides have reached an agreement in principle on a 5-year contract. The Birmingham News says the school's president and athletic director have told players they hope to have a new coach by this weekend. In either case, things are moving quickly in Alabama. Their AD for media relations, though, would make no comment on the reports.
Coming up inside SportsCenter, they're just wild about their hockey team in Minnesota, but will it be enough to force a deciding game with the Vancouver Canucks? Hey, break up the Tigers. A 3-game win streak has them dancing in Motown. We'll see if they can find a way to make it 4. What about the Red Sox? Staging a late comeback in Kansas City. Was it enough to overtake those Royals? And who does John Smoltz think would make a great baseball commissioner? The answer when he sits on the Budweiser hot seat. But up next, there must be a recession in the nation's capital. Wait until you hear who got fired from his job. Stay tuned.
Our son and daughter are going to be married. We're stuck with each other.
Yeah. Steve may love his son. Jerry may love his daughter.
Can you tell me what your dad really does?
I'm not allowed to say for the CIA.
But on May 23rd,
He's unstable or possibly worse.
they're getting a wedding to remember.
Wow.
Michael Douglas, Albert Brooks,
This was the worst wedding we have ever been to.
We should thank Jerry. He put it all together.
The In-Laws, rated PG-13. Sneak preview Saturday, starts May 23rd.
A breakthrough offer from Midas. Right now, get lifetime brake pads or shoes for just $39.95. And you'll never have to buy brake pads or shoes again for as long as you own your car. Next stop, Midas. Lifetime brake pads or shoes, $39.95. Only at Midas.
Thinking of making a collect call? It's obvious. Dial 1-800-COLLECT. It just goes together, like an angel with wings. So go ahead, toss the 1-800 before collect, and you're on your way. 1-800-COLLECT. It's the obvious choice.
The conference semis kick into gear with a Game 2 doubleheader. Sixers Pistons at 7, Kings Mavs at 9:30. Thursday on ESPN.
Game you watched on ESPN. Marion Gaborek's-Wild down 3-2 in the series against Vancouver. The Wild 1-4 at home in this year's playoffs. And guess what? They're at home. Let's flash back. Their lone home victory, Game 6 against Colorado, down 3-2 in the series. Richard Park scoring an OT to force Game 7. Would we have an OT here on this night? First period, a Wild fan putting up a sign behind Canucks coach Mark Crawford saying, "I can't believe we're going to lose this game." Wallison the save. Dwayne Wallison setting the tone. Why? Because he had 12 saves on 12 shots in the first period. He was the best player on the ice, and he kept the game scoreless. We go to second, tied at nothing. Jarkko Ruutu, the face wash. Ruutu called for a roughing, and he can't believe it. He's stunned. He got 2 minutes. Get in the box, Ruutu. The ensuing power play, Dan Coutier in the Vancouver net. Stopping Gaborik. Andrew Burnett scoring on the rebound, falling down his 5th of the playoffs, put the Wild up 1-0. Later in the second, same score, extra man from Minnesota, Lubomir Sekarash, the Rocket. Take another look. The shot hits the camera behind Cloutier. It shook us all up. To the third we go with Minnesota up 3-1. Cliff Ronning. Off the long pass, the pass to Antti Laaksonen, who beats Cloutier from there. Number 1 for Laaksonen. The Wild win 5-1. For insight, we send it back out to Minnesota. Dave Strader, Brian Engblom.
All right, Linda, thanks very much. I don't know how many people keep office pools for the Stanley Cup playoffs. I don't think anybody would have had Anaheim against the winner of this series going to the Western Conference Finals, but it comes down to one game tomorrow night in Vancouver.
And this was a tale of two games. Vancouver was outstanding in the first period, really took it to Minnesota. Dwayne Rollison bailed them out, and then game 2 was actually Minnesota taking over. It was nuts.
Game 6, 7 goals. Cliff Ronning got 2. This game, they scored another 5, and Andrew Burnett this time, the 2-goal performance.
Andrew Burnett has come through for them in a huge way throughout these playoffs. He scored the winner against Colorado in Game 7 with a great move, and he got 2 goals here tonight. And for Burnett, you know, he chips in with guys like Marion Gaborik, and he goes to the net. This one was the first power play goal. It was in his feet. He just dug it out and shot it in the short side. And then the other one, it was a timing thing. He just steps off to the left side of the net there and gets sort of a freebie from the edge of the shore. So everybody chipped in there, and we had Dave Ryan standing downstairs with Andrew Burnett.
All right, thank you. Third start tonight, Andrew Burnett. 2 goals for you. How, Andrew, in back-to-back games in this series, did you blow open a close game with Vancouver?
Well, I thought Darby's goal was huge. I mean, you know, they had a little bit of momentum there. They scored, and we answered the bell right away, and that's something that, you know, a little earlier in the series we weren't able to do. So, I mean, that was really huge for us. Gave us a lift of confidence, lifted the bench up, and we went from there.
Why does this team play so well, Andrew, under the sense of desperation? You did that in the Colorado series. You came back from 3-1, and all of a sudden it's 3-3 with Vancouver.
I have no idea. I mean, we put ourselves in a big hole, and we dug a little bit out. There's still the biggest part here left. So I'm not sure. I mean, makes it hard on us. Maybe the harder the better, and we got a resilient bunch that never quit, and you know, we're going to keep forward here through Game 7.
Tell us about your goals tonight, Andrew. First of all, the power play tally, a rebound came right to you. You saw a little bit of the open net. It must feel good to get that first one, get the crowd going. Was that important for your team tonight?
I think so. I mean, we were a little sloppy, a little tentative. First period, we didn't play very good. You know, they could have, if they scored, it might have been a different game, and we kept it tied, really made some big saves, and you know, the power play wasn't clicking, so it was a big goal. I think it got us going a little bit, and you know, we're a little bit better with a lead, and you know, made us feel good, and we went from there.
No team has ever come back down from 3-1 twice in one playoff season to do it. You have a chance to do that. You're on the verge of history. What's the feeling like with your team right now? Do you feel like you're making history?
No, we feel like you know, we're very fortunate to play another day, and that was our game plan for, you know, last couple of games here in the previous series, and it's the same thing tonight. We get to play one more day, and let's make it a good day.
Best of luck in the 7th game.
Thanks, Dave.
6 goals now in these playoffs for Andrew Burnett. Let's go back to you.
All right, Dave, thanks very much. Brian, you and I are pretty lucky because we get to go to Vancouver tomorrow night. It'll be 10 Eastern on ESPN2, the 109th Game 7 in Stanley Cup playoff history. Let's send it back to the studio.
Guys, thanks. We look forward to that. More information as the Wild hold off elimination yet again. They've now won 5 times when faced with elimination. The only team to win more games in one playoff year was the 75 New York Islanders. Game 7 Thursday night in Vancouver on ESPN2. Both teams playing their second Game 7s of this year's playoffs. Over the last 2 years, only one team has won a Game 7 on the road, and that was Minnesota.
Different sport now, and you figure the first night the Orioles took one for the team. Tigers came into Camden Yards 4-25, and since the worst 30-game start in big league history belonged to the 88 Orioles at 4-26, the Colonels were just protecting the franchise's rightful place in the record book. But after a second straight loss to the Tigers last night, Baltimore manager Mike Hargrove, well, he wasn't so happy. Held a meeting, blasted his guys for not being mentally prepared. Ha-ha! The Tigers' clever ploy revealed. Lull them to sleep the first 5 weeks and then right to the World Series. The Tigers trying to sweep the O's in Baltimore for the first time in a decade, run their overall win streak to 4. Bottom first, 1-zip Orioles. Jay Gibbons flying it out to Craig Monroe, who's perhaps having some trouble with it. But would he catch it? Well, now remember, we're in May. Had it been April, this is the kind of thing that happens when you start 2-25. Monroe gets some glove, just forgets to hang on. So we go back to Wednesday, and has May brought better luck? Yeah. Those guys would have creamed each other. Andres Torres gets out of the way. Monroe makes the catch. Perhaps the luck is changing. Top second, Brandon Inge facing Omar Dahl. Now, if it were April, Inge, well, he hit a $158 in April with no home runs. I mean, a nasty opening month. Putrid. Foul back to Wednesday. The fate changed. Oh, giddy up it has. A 2-run homer. Only his first homer of the season, his first extra base hit of the year in 27 games. Tigers up 2-1. And then, you know, that was so much fun. Let's go, Abau. A solo homer. Inge. 2 homers this season, both in the game. Tigers exploding for 9 runs. 4 straight win. I think they're going to catch the Yankees.
Red Sox, Royals, Shea Hillenbrand, Kyle Snyder, Manny Ramirez on second. It's all about Manny. Takes off and steals third. Why is this a big deal? Because it's his first swipe since May 28th of 2000. Manny would score on a sac fly. Now watch how Snyder never even looks back to check on Ramirez, and Manny took advantage. It's so simple when you break it down. Now we're going to use the split screen. Johnny Damon, Jeremy Giambi, both used to be Royals. Now they're both Red Sox, and wait till you see what happens. First, we talk Damon, top of the 7th. Red Sox down 4. Damon cracking one to right. It's gone, a 2-run homer. Red Sox now down 6-4. Damon's 5th. And we'll get to Giambi in a moment. See? There's the 2-run shot. Later in the inning, Nomar hitting a fly ball. Michael Tucker is there, but his problem is the sun. Todd Walker would score. Sox now down 6-5. Nomar would get a triple on that play. Now, Jeremy Giambi up with the game tied at 6, runner on second. Contact, base hit. Bill Miller scores. The Red Sox score 4 in the 7th. They score 4 more in the 8th, and they shock the Royals 9-6.
It's very disappointing when a 40-year-old man has more desire than a 25, 26, 23-year-old people, you know, and he's diving for loose balls, he's busting his chin, he's doing everything he can to get this team into the playoffs, and it's not reciprocated from the other players on this team, and that's very disappointing.
It was strange when the news first came down. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player ever to play the game and the all-time biggest economic draw in the game, was tossed aside today like a scrap piece of paper. The Washington Wizards cut ties with MJ after 3.5 seasons of failed dreams, 0 playoff appearances, and player dissension. When he got word, Jordan jumped in his convertible and exited the offices of the Wizards for good. It won't take long for Jordan to drive straight to his next challenge. He's already been offered a job with the NBA's expansion team in Charlotte if he wants it. Said owner and friend Robert Johnson, Michael can play any role he wants to play. Now, Jordan issued a statement after the Wizards made him disappear. Said Jordan, it was well understood that when I finished playing, I would return as president of basketball operations, and this was definitely my desire and intention. However, today, without any prior discussion with me, ownership informed me that it had unilaterally decided to change our mutual long-term understanding. I am shocked by this decision and by the callous refusal to offer me any justification for it. Well, MJ did not make his exit before thanking the Wizard fans for their support, adding, quote, I never backed down from a challenge, and I'm disappointed that I wasn't given the opportunity to make this franchise one of proud tradition. As for the Wizards, a front office makeover is in their future. No word on Coach Doug Collins' future in Washington, but one thing is certain, plenty of good seats will now be available. With more, Rick Bucher.
He does have an out here. It's probably not as lucrative or as palatable, and that's going to the Charlotte franchise and becoming a team president in charge of basketball operations there. I'm told that Ed Tapscott would be willing to move aside and focus on the business side of things. Obviously, there's still a lot of discussion that has to go on, but I'm also told that there is an ownership stake in that team that's still available worth $40 million. Now, it's not I'm told that Robert Johnson is not going to give Jordan a stake as the Wizards did, but that he would have the opportunity to have some ownership. He would be able to go back to Charlotte. At this point, if he wants to remain in the mix and continue to work in the front office of a franchise, an NBA franchise, this is probably his best bet. All the talk about him going back to Chicago makes absolutely no sense. didn't make sense before. It makes even less sense now that they got John Paxson in place.
Thank you, Rick. With Jordan, the Wizards won 26 more games than they did in the 2 seasons before his comeback. Plus, over 5,000 more tickets were sold per home game, working out to nearly $18 million in ticket sales alone. But the franchise still has not won a playoff series since 1982. That's when MJ was a freshman and national champion at North Carolina.
Still to come on SportsCenter, we put John Smoltz on the Budweiser hot seat. Is this former Cy Young starter a closer for good? Might be surprised by that answer.
Mr. Goodwrench, who is this one and only GM expert? I gotta find this guy.
You're Mr. Goodwrench.
Yep.
Which means you use genuine GM parts.
Well, actually, we all do.
Now you're just trying to throw me. Mr. Goodwrench had over 1 million hours of GM training last year?
That's right.
Doesn't leave much time for Mrs. Goodwrench now, does it?
Find Mr. Goodwrench at over 7,000 GM dealerships nationwide.
If Mr. Goodwrench were a tool, what kind of tool would he be?
A wrench?
Ooh, sorry. Miter saw is what we were looking for. Miter saw.
I've made a lot of news on the baseball diamond, but if you want to find out about this diamond, you gotta go talk to your doctor.
Ready to try Viagra for the first time? See your doctor and find out if a free sample's right for you.
My doctor says it's right for me. That's why I stay with it. For more information, go to Viagra.com.
Timid? Hardly. Controversial? Always.
He should be thrown out of the game even before a warning.
Bobby V's got something to say.
In my opinion.
Bobby Valentine, part of the new Baseball Tonight. Weeknights at 10 and midnight on ESPN.
What do you want from your bank today? The sky's the limit with affordable personal loans from Lafayette Bank and Trust. Lafayette Bank and Trust, we're making banking better. What do you want from your bank today?
I want a loan that turns my house into money.
Work your magic with a home equity loan from Lafayette Bank and Trust. Lafayette Bank and Trust, we're making banking better.
HD TV is here.
All right.
It's got a picture up to 6 times sharper than regular TV.
Yeah.
Twice the color resolution. Cool. Larger viewing area. And enhanced sound. And everyone knows the best way to get HD TV, right? Just call Insight and bring all the excitement of HD TV into your home. What's your insight?
Rockies Braves, originally scheduled on ESPN2, needed to be on the Weather Channel. Rained out. Teams will play 2 tomorrow beginning at 4:35 Eastern. What could not be postponed, John Smoltz's time on the Budweiser hot seat opposite Mike Greenberg.
John Smoltz, welcome to the Budweiser hot seat. Let's get right to it. Bud Selig says he won't seek another term as commissioner of Major League Baseball. Who should be the next commissioner?
Who should be the next commissioner? Great question. Dale Murphy, how about that?
If I made you the commissioner of baseball, what's the first change you would make?
First change I would make is probably get off the backs of the umpires and let them call the strike zone instead of this computer program that seems to be controlling their strike zone.
Should they give home field advantage in the World Series to the team whose league wins the All-Star game?
No, I think Major League Baseball should have the best record, should have home field throughout the playoffs like other sports.
Recently, we've seen some fairly frightening incidents involving fans on the field. Do you feel perfectly safe on the diamond when you're playing?
I do. I think it's unfortunate what's happened, but I think most players feel safe, and every step is being taken to avoid whatever happens, and I don't think you'll see too many more repeat instances. There's certain things you can't control, but I think players overall have been briefed on all the situations that could happen and feel pretty safe.
Are you fully satisfied today in your role as closer?
Absolutely. More content with it, and as far as I'm concerned, this will be what I do for the rest of my career. And last year was not a great marriage, but this year I look forward to the role.
How much do you miss Tom Glavine?
I miss him a lot. You know, anytime you spend 15 years with a guy and professional and then off the field, obviously, you know, his golfing ability every time we'd wake up and play golf, not to mention, you know, I used to beat him a lot, so I missed that too.
If you had chosen to go that way, could you be on the PGA Tour now?
Not right now, but someday, I hope.
Did you beat Annika Sorenstam?
I did. Probably one of the most pressured things I've had to deal with and go through. I had a blast. You know, she was great, and as well as Tiger Woods was, you know, obviously in the group, but it was just a lot of fun for me.
John Smoltz, you are off the Budweiser hot seat.
The Budweiser Hot Seat, brought to you by Budweiser. Delivering beer at its best with the crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers.
When John and I return, big hitters, the Blue Jays, Long, and the Rangers ain't exactly a Punch and Judy outfit. Baseballs beware. Viewers, be ready. Mike Piazza and Guillermo Mota missed each other in Game 1 of the Mets-Dodgers series. Piazza managed to make his way to the plate tonight. Did Mota get out of the pen? And Mike Price's job is gone, but more on Alabama's justification is coming in. New stories about the former Crimson Tide coach, far more damaging than an excessive room service tab. Stay tuned.
ESPN HD. Sponsored by Philips and Best Buy.
Can you hear me now? Good. Can you hear me now? Good. Got some time on your hands? With Verizon Wireless, you can download the most advanced games on the nation's best wireless network. Can you hear me now? Good. Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
Introducing new body wash from Old Spice.
Put my love to the test.
It has a dual action formula, so you'll get really clean, smell really great.
Hey Ben, need help with your anatomy homework?
New body wash from Old Spice.
For the best protection against water damage, one name says it all. Thompson's Water Seal, Wood Protector Plus Waterproofer for the highest level of water protection guaranteed. Thompson's Water Seal and New Advance, the most powerful protection against water damage.
Out here, the grass never stops growing, and you gotta take care of that. So, boys! Fresh cut grass smells like victory.
Hey guys, Domino's is here.
Sorry.
Kids, give this man some air, please. What day is it, sir?
Free pizza day.
And the next day?
Free pizza day.
Fascinating. And the next day?
Free pizza day.
Kids, your dad's gonna be just fine.
Now, every day is free pizza day at Domino's. Get a medium one-topping pizza free when you buy a large Domino's pizza at menu price any day.
Sir, how many pizzas am I holding?
2.
He's good.
Get the door. It's 2-for-1 pizza days.
We can teach our kids manners. Right from wrong. And how to make friends. But you know who's going to teach them what it feels like to get really big goosebumps? Mother Nature. Go on, pursue your passions. Go RVing. Call for a free video and visit an RV dealer.
What Barry Bonds is doing at his age is just plain stupid. 73 bombs 2 years ago. A batting title last year. 5 MVPs, and he should have 7. The best player in baseball shouldn't be nearly 40.
Love him, hate him, you gotta watch him. Rome is burning. Tuesdays at 7 Eastern. Jim Rome is back on ESPN.
Batter up 4 games this year. It's been bedlam between the Blue Jays and Rangers. 74 runs, 112 hits, 21 homers. Teams have combined to hit 356. Buck Showalter's not sleeping. It's very ugly. Overall, the Blue Jays have scored 64 runs in their last 8 games. They're hitting 363 during the stretch. So Blue Jays, Rangers again, and, well, pitchers don't want to be involved in this. Carlos Delgado, one of 4, tied for the most home runs in the majors. Carl Everett, Juan Gonzalez of the Rangers, 2 of the others, and then Jeff Bagwell makes it a foursome. Well, top 1, 2-0 Blue Jays, and Delgado goes, ha-ha, I lead. I got a dozen. At least I'm the first one there. 3-0 Toronto. Top 4, Jays up 3-2. Eric Kinski doubles to right. Juan Gonzalez eventually come up with that. We cut to Kinski rolling in for the 2-bagger. Well, guess what? Next batter up. But before that happens, it's Tom Wilson. We're going to throw over to first. We're going to appeal that Hinski never touched first. Home plate umpire Ron Kulpa calls Hinski out for failing to tag first base. Apparently, that's a new rule in 2003. You got to touch the bases. I don't know. We look at it again. He was very close. Had he been a defender in a double play, we'd give him the neighborhood. But I guess on offense, we're not going to let it go. Hinski's not happy. 2 batters later, Orlando Hudson grounds to Alex Rodriguez. Oh, all that and money, too. Very nicely done. It's short. Bottom 4, Rangers down 3-2. Juan Gonzalez, former driller to former driller. Tanyan Sturtz serving up the gopher ball, number 12, and guess what? He and Delgado now tied atop the majors with a dozen. 3-3 ball game. Bottom 6, Sturtz in the mount. Alex Rodriguez wants a piece of that. He's down 1, trying to keep pace. His 11th of the season. 4-3 Rangers. Top 8. Blue Jays down 5. 4 Hinski at bat. Here's Carl Everett. He's not hitting home runs, though. He's just saving runs. Great backhanded catch. Hinski, not a good Wednesday. Rangers win 5-4.
For a second straight night, Mike Piazza was not in the Mets starting lineup against the Dodgers. He's still recovering from having a mole removed from his abdomen. So once again, the only chance for another confrontation between hurler Guillermo Mota and Piazza would be if the Mets catcher came into pinch hit when Mota was on the mound. And if you're Mets manager Art Howe, why in the world would you do that? Huh? Touché. There's Piazza, spectator looking on against his former mate, Hideo Nomo. With Piazza out again, here's a question. Who would you rather have playing? Mo Vaughn and Mike Piazza? Or Tony Clark and Vance Wilson, who were heroes a night ago? Clark, Wilson's production have been much better, even in limited action this year. Met fans shocked everywhere. Top of the 6th, tied to 1, Steve Traxel. Just be patient. Brian Jordan. Jordan, he had 3 hits. Sean Green scores on that one. It's 2-1 LA. Bottom 6, here's Tony Clark with a tying run at 3rd. Nomo strikes him out. Nomo 7 1/3, 3 hits allowed, 1 earned run. Bottom 8, Mike Piazza pinch hitting for Traxel. He walks. First base umpire Lance Barksdale says he didn't swing, and that would be it for Nomo. Tom Martin comes in to face Roberto Alomar. First pitch. What the heck was Alomar thinking? Swinging on the first pitch against a new pitcher. He's a future Hall of Famer, yeah. Bottom 9, Eric Gagne in. Tony Clark strikes out to end the game. Gagne, 11 save and 11 chances. Dodgers win.
Earlier, we told you Alabama is reportedly set to name its new football coach, Mike Shula. That news coincides with fresh revelations on why the old coach was probably fired. A report in this week's Sports Illustrated details the debauchery of Mike Price's much-publicized night in Pensacola, Florida, and other equally unflattering tales of Price buying drinks and propositioning co-eds at campus bars in Tuscaloosa. One woman told the magazine she and another woman had sex with Price in his Pensacola hotel room last month. She declined to comment when asked if she was paid by Price to have sex. The former Crimson Tide football coach strongly denied to the Birmingham News that either of the accounts were true. He did, however, acknowledge that he was, quote, too drunk to really know, end quote, about some of his other actions in Florida. Well, they have just finished up in San Antonio, the Lakers and Spurs, so we welcome everyone who is switching over now to catch SportsCenter.
Welcome.
Yes, we'll have a complete Game 2 wrap-up ahead, as well as a review of the best baseball of the night.
Oh, speaking of Game 2,
yes,
the Spurs were looking to go up 2-0 on the 3-time defending champs. We go to San Antonio, and there's Kobe Bryant needing a huge game, and Shaquille, speaking of huge. First quarter, Lakers down 4. Underneath the hoop, Shaquille will get a hold of David Robinson, and that's an offensive foul. Number 1 on Shaquille. Lakers now down 22-14. Shaq backing in on Malik Rose. He's called for the offensive foul. Number 2, Shaq gets an early seat. That set the tone. Spurs up 24-16. Manu Ginobili driving, laying in over Mark Madsen. Spurs up 12 after 1. So much for being intimidated. Lakers down 13. Shaquille. Looking for space, he's fouled, so O'Neal goes to the line, and as he goes to shoot the free throw, a fan stands under the hoop and holds up a Carmen Electra poster. Shaq is not a fan of Carmen, and the fan was escorted out. Spurs up 7. Tim Duncan finding Bruce Bowen. Bowen known for his defense, but if you have a view like that, you're going to hit that bucket. Soon after, Bowen again for 3. It's good. And again, Bruce Bowen, 5 of 6 from three-point range in the first half. Spurs up 60-43. They're up 16 in the third. Tim Duncan all over Kobe, who was double-teamed. Duncan, the outlet to Bowen. Spurs up 74-56. They were up 24 in the third. Ginobili, Bowen all day, 27 points for him, 7 for 8 from downtown. Shaq and Kobe go home down 2-0. More information about this shocking result. And it's about Bruce Bowen, known for his defense, as I mentioned. He had 17 points in the first half of the game. This coming from somebody who scored only 12 points in his previous 3 games. That's a span of 92 minutes played. Bowen, 5 of 6 from downtown, was 2 of 8 in his previous 3.
And here now to make some finer points on tonight's NBA playoff games, the coach, Fred Carter. Let's just get right to the chase. How damaging is this to the Lakers overall? We'll take it piece by piece later, but just how damaging is this blowout tonight?
Well, this is a tough loss for the Lakers after all. They got embarrassed on national television. But keep in mind now, when you don't have Rick Fox and Devin George, and you got to bring guys in the ballgame that haven't been able to swim in those waters, it's a problem whether you're playing at home or in San Antonio. They've got to regroup now because Kobe Bryant is really being shut down by Bruce Bowen.
All right, now we'll let you break it down on this one, Fred, because it's 6 straight times now that the Spurs have beaten the Lakers, 4 during the regular season, which we kind of swept away thinking it was in the playoffs, and now 2 here in this series. What's the difference?
Well, it sounds like 10-40 time now, maybe ownership. They may have to pay taxes, but I'll tell you what, the big difference now, Bruce Bowen. You talk about him on the defensive end, but offensively, he gets his ball club started early, and that means opening up the basket for your team. He jumps out there, makes a 3 from an area that he's not familiar with, so you know he's got it going. From the wings, different story. When the defense compresses itself, trying to stop the driver, the ball swings around the horn. Where do you find Bruce Bowen? Again, knocking down the 3s. As I said, he got his ball club off to a great start, and coaches like that. When you can get a player to open up the basket for the rest of your team, it gives confidence. And what happens? Everyone stays at home. Ginobili, great move. Down the lane, gets himself a layup. But the problem's also for the Lakers on the offensive end. San Antonio's defense is so good, they weren't able to make entry passes or handle the ball, turning the ball over. It's a big difference without Rick Fox in the ball game. That gives the Lakers another ball handler.
Devin George, Rick Fox, and we all thought Kobe and Shaq were the big mighty twosome for the Lakers. We saw Phil Jackson there. Where does he start repairing the damage as they go to L.A.?
Well, it's very difficult because you're talking about Kareem Rush and Denaro Pargo in the game? Come on. You know, that's very, very difficult. And he's got to now go into his cave of Zen and come out with something. After all, it's not working. He's got to get the ball out of Kobe's hands, maybe make Kobe work the baseline and get open, rather than work from so far out trying to beat a guy like Bruce Bowen, and then get the ball inbounds to Shaq. Problem is, like Will Chamberlain, nobody likes Goliath. Shaq doesn't get enough foul calls.
Before we cast everything off on, the Lakers are injured, where are the Spurs so much better this year in handling the Lakers?
Well, they're so much better because they're confident, and they're playing it on the defensive end. And what they're doing is they're getting stellar play from a different guy every night. Game 1, it was Ginobili. Game 2, Bruce Bowen. Game 3, it could be any of those guys, for example. Tony Parker, who really needs to get off in this series, doesn't have a lot of confidence. If he gets off, the Lakers are really going to have a problem.
All right, can you stick around? Because we've got plenty more to talk to you about. Certainly there's another game, the Celtics and the Nets. We also want to talk more about what's happening with the Spurs and the Lakers right now. San Antonio's head coach, Greg Popovich, no doubt pleased to be 2 up after 2 games.
For us, that's always a key. It's how we have to play to have opportunities to win. So I was real pleased with how consistent we were for a long period of time. And I thought they followed up the defense, completing it with a board. And for us, that's always the key to the game.
Is the way Tony has penetrated against them, is that just a continuation from what started in last year's playoffs? I mean, how important has that been for him?
Well, you know, I think anytime players penetrate, it creates problems for teams. And, you know, we want Tony to be aggressive. I mean, you know, doesn't matter who the team is or who the opponent is. When people penetrate, it causes problems all over the court for any team. So keeping people in front of you is important. And for us, you know, Tony Parker gets some things created out there when he does penetrate. So we do need that.
Pop, your perimeter guys are having so much trouble making shots the first part of the Phoenix series. You feel like they're over the hump now from that?
Well, I certainly hope so. You know, we've had a good coordination between inside and outside all year long, and you know, Timmy's been great all year as far as involving all his teammates, and it makes them better, obviously. So them making shots is important to us because we don't want to just play a post-up game. We want to keep everybody involved. The Lakers are too good a team to just, you know, go to one guy. It's not going to work against them.
You hear Greg Popovich, who was the coach of the year during the regular season. Appears he didn't get any dumber as the playoffs have started. We'll read you this. Lakers down 0-2 in a series for the first time since the 99 Western Conference semis when they were swept by the Spurs. So take that as you were. Other basketball game tonight, that would be your Celtics and the Nets. Linda has that highlight. Fred and I are going to stick right here, Linda, so you finish that up, and then we'll be waiting on you.
Sounds like a plan. Let's roll it. Jason Kidd and the Nets looking to take a 2-0 lead in the series. Germana and TJ in their usual seats. First quarter, Kmart. Kenyon Martin, the alley-oop to Richard Jefferson. Very athletic. 10 of 18 from the field was Jefferson. 25 points, 6 boards. Still in the first, Antoine Walker can't handle the pass. He had 5 turnovers. Now watch the spot shadow. The Celtics get back on D, stopping the fast break. Tony Battie, the block on R. Jeff. Keep that in mind for later. There'll be a quiz. Nets up 3, Kidd to Kenyon Martin. 14 points, 10 boards for Martin. 8 assists for Jay Kidd. Nets by 7. They're up 12. Kidd the steal. 21 Boston turnovers. Ahead to Jefferson, who doesn't miss from there. Nets by 14. Still in the third, Celtics down 16. Paul Pierce. 32 points, 11 assists, 10 boards. You do the math. Now watch the Celtics. They don't get back on defense. They're just watching. Jefferson to Kenyon. Kmart also held Antoine Walker to just 7 points. Meanwhile, Lucius Harris, no. Kidd is there. That was pretty. 23 points, 11 boards for Jay Kidd. Pierce down low to Tony Battie for the jam. 11 assists for Pierce. Celtics down 4, but then Kidd says, I'm taking over.
But once Jay Kidd came back in the game, that just shows his importance. He started to control the tempo again, get us running up and down. That's when we're at our best.
Yeah, Richard Jefferson hit the jumper from Kidd, and the Nets were up by 8. Still in the fourth, we got that arrow going on because Paul Pierce will end up rolling his right ankle, and he is hurting, and he would stay in the game. He'd end up with a triple-double. Nets up 9, Kittles to Jefferson. That's nasty. Nets win by 9. They're up 2-0, and that pleases Byron Scott.
We know that going up there right now, the momentum is in our favor. We're playing pretty well. But like I said, we haven't done anything special. We took care of home court advantage. That's all we've done so far.
Can't understand I'm getting good looks tonight. I got great looks around the basket, just didn't fall for me. So, nobody's blame with myself. Look myself in the mirror and bounce back.
The series is far from over, and so we understand that it's going to be a hostile environment up in Boston. But to take care of business the way we did here at home, now we have to go find a way to win a road game. And so, hopefully we can do that come Friday.
Paul Pierce can use some help up front. Celtics starting front court of Walker, McCarty, and Battie were outscored by 23 points in this one. The trio managed to get to the line only 4 times. Now let's get you back to San Antonio, where live at the podium is the Spurs' biggest star, Bruce Bowen.
So, but I'm just trying to get back on defense and try to beat him to a certain spot. Maybe disrupt a pass if, somebody's trying to give him a quick pass, maybe get a hand in the lane and do things like that. I'm not paying attention to if I'm frustrating a guy like that because it's hard to. He gets so many shots. It's hard for him to get frustrated, I feel.
Who's ranked this game as far as your career goes?
I mean, it's a career high in scoring, and it's the playoffs. It's amplify. Everybody's watching because, we're the only teams that's playing right now. So I would have to say this is the best game that I've ever had as an NBA player.
What's the key to staying, I guess, mentally sharp when you're going against a guy who could put up 30, 35 shots on you?
You have to understand that, it's the reason why he's who he is. And when he hits a shot on you, you can't get down. He hit a lot of his first, he he hit a lot of shots in the beginning of the first quarter. And sometimes you can say, oh, man, he hit his shots. But you got to understand, it's 48 minutes. And, if you got a hand up, did the best you could, that's all you can ask for.
Bruce, after leading the league in three-point accuracy this season, are you shocked that the Lakers continually are leaving you that wide open?
Well, I don't think it was a matter of them just leaving me wide open in fast break transition. It's big to get back and try to, find the open men. I just happened to sneak behind certain guys during that course of transition and in rotating. Manu gave me a pass in the second half where they rotated, and they have to rotate to our big man and Tim. So it just left me wide open, and Manu was able to kick me the ball out. So it's not a matter of them just leaving me, I don't think. I think it's a matter of people getting in the seams and, them helping, and, I'm just being an open guy at that time.
Tim Duncan, the MVP, Bruce Bowen, the MVP. Tonight, while we wait for more principals from both the winning and losing teams to show up and shower up at the podium there in San Antonio, we're going to talk a little bit more, Fred, about the Celtics and Nets series. And now, I know you made your career because you were a shooter, but you got love for point guards that passes off as well. And Jason Kidd, again, in control for 48 minutes.
No question about it. And there are guys that dominate the game, but we're talking guys who dominate the game offensively, like, Iverson or Kobe or T-Mac. But Jason Kidd, he dominates the game in all facets of the game. Watch him here. Oh, what a great look. Left-handed lob down the floor. Again, Jason Kidd, another area in which he is so tough. Look, on the floor, gets the loose ball, finds Kenyon in the lane, and then watch him now. When he's in a fast break, he always goes with his left hand. Those are the three faces of Jason Kidd. He plays the game. You talk about a guy here who had 19 points, 8 rebounds in the second half. Most guys, that would be a good game.
On the Celtics side of it, Paul Pierce is playing lights out. He's doing all he can. Obviously, at this point, it's not enough. He needs some help, but how far can he carry? I mean, can he win a couple of games here just outright?
Paul Pierce can, because Paul Pierce is such a prolific offensive player. We're talking about a guy that's got the complete arsenal from range to outside. Watch him here. Paul Pierce dropping the triple P. Paul, knock it down. But he's not finished. He's got so much going for him. Look at the step-back jumper here. And if you think that's good, get a load of this one here. He twists, spins, gets in the lane, triple-double in the ball game. Paul Pierce likes the contact, likes to go to the basket, can finish. Surprisingly, he doesn't beat you with speed or quickness, and he doesn't jump over you, but he knows how to score on you.
And as you see here, Fred, he's in good company, but not really the company you want to be in. The 6th different player in NBA playoff history to score at least 30 points in a non-overtime game, have a triple-double, and lose. But none of those names on this list you could really call losing. I mean,
he needs some help from his forwards.
Well, that's what I want to ask you. Where's Antoine Walker? 3 for 15 in this one. Has he just become so much, he just deferred to Pierce so much he's lost his game, or where's his hang-up?
Well, I think his hang-up is Kenyon Martin. I think Kenyon Martin has put him in his suitcase and is carrying him around with him. If you watch Antoine play on the floor, and all the shots that he's taking, he's shooting them quick. He's not getting his head around. He's throwing little flippers up at the basket. That's not his game. Normally, he takes the ball to the basket strong. And then shot selection is very poor. He's rushing shots, he's shooting bad threes, and that's really hurting his ball club. 3 for 15 in the ball game. He has not played well against the Nets. He's got to find his game. If not, the Nets are going home early.
Okay, and as we wait for Tim Duncan, I believe, almost getting ready in San Antonio, I want to ask you, you talked about Jason Kidd controlling the tempo. What about the energy this team derives from Kenyon Martin? Because that really seems to make it go as well.
Well, what happens with Kenyon Martin? He's their physical player. He's the guy that plays inside. Great shooter around the basket. You'd be surprised the nice little touch that he has around the hoop. But he rebounds the ball, and he runs the floor. He finishes on breaks. And you need a guy with that type of toughness, because if you look at the rest of the ball club, I don't see that toughness. But Kenyon Martin brings it to the game every single night. Sometimes he commits dumb fouls and gets himself in foul trouble, but you've got to like his energy.
Now, it's going to be a tough enough chore to go up to Boston and try to win a game for the Nets, because it's always hard to win on the opponent's floor. But Jason Kidd, I would think, particularly a tough task, given what happened up in Boston last year. Things renewed themselves this week with the comments from Bob Ryan about his wife, Jemana. He's got to go into a very hostile environment. Motivated, or a chance he could be tentative?
I don't think he's going to be tentative, because after all, great players have a way of having those horse blinders on them, where they get focused and they stay in the moment. And in the moment is the game, between that 94 by 50 white lines. And that's where he'll play. It'll probably spur him to play even better.
Adjustments that Boston's going to have to make if they hope to get into this series.
Well, they've got to get back on defense. There was a while there, 3 guys were back on defense. They've got to keep them back. When there's only 2 back, advantage Nets. Why? Because they got numbers running. And those numbers are going to outweigh Boston. They're going to get laps. They've got to get back on defense.
It wasn't just Antoine Walker that got things going. The whole front line did not play particularly well for the Celtics. We're going to go back down to San Antonio. Coach of the Lakers, Phil Jackson, down 0-2 for the first time in a long time. His comments.
Slowing down first, second, and third quarter. We made some bad decisions. In our decision making, I think they benefited out of a lot of them. Rotations, three-point shots, even on the offensive end. But their shooting was terrific, especially Bruce Bowen's, obviously. That really sets a tone for a game when a guy can knock down those kind of shots from three-point range, and really kind of keyed their team.
So why was Bowen so wide open for so many of those shots in the first half? I know one was in transition, but the rest seemed to be in the half court.
Well, some of them were double teams coming back on Duncan on the block, and you got wide open look.
Were those the right decisions? It looked like Kobe was wandering quite a bit there. Was he doing that on his own, or was that what you wanted out of the defense?
Well, there were a couple that, obviously were what we wanted. There was a couple that weren't. But, by and large, we just didn't identify well as to what was really happening on the court, what was going on in this particular night. It wasn't about Duncan. It wasn't about, their interior game. It was about what was happening on the outside of the court.
What can you do to slow down their penetration?
Well, we need to keep Shaq out of foul trouble from the offensive end so that he can play defense and, limit their chances and opportunities around the lane in the basket. And, he's going to have to, he's going to have to marshal governor himself on what's acceptable and what they're calling. What he's doing, he's done all his career. And, they're taking away what his game has been. And in that account or regard, he's just going to have to adjust his game to what is being called on the court so that he can stay on the floor. And the same with Kobe. Kobe is, feeling he's getting fouled by Bowen, and therefore he's going at him doubly hard. And as a result, the calls are not being made, and he's taking tough shots and he's making difficult situations out there for himself. So we're going to have to honor what the defense is getting done or accomplished out there for the Spurs and play the right way about basketball.
Bill, given obviously you're lacking some roster guys and things like that, what now do you work on over the next couple of days to try to turn this around in LA?
It's about concepts. It's about the concepts of what you have to do with the basketball. And, we have to, get it back where, we have an idea what we want to do with the ball and how we want to move it on the court so that, we take advantage of what we know and see out there as a coaching staff and as our team sees that and submits to that kind of idea. Then they're going to be able to, execute what we want to accomplish. Then we'll be fine.
Down 0-2 and still without two players and not knowing what Devin can do if you can come back Friday or not. I mean, what kind of sense do you have about what this group, what's left of it, can actually do to get back in this series?
Well, obviously, Fish isn't getting many looks out there, and we'd like him to be involved in the game, and we try to get him some looks out there, but they've done a nice job on him. Robert's reluctant to shoot his shot. I had to encourage him in the third quarter. He had to take his shot. He just has to take it. That's part of our offense. If he doesn't make it, he can't make it. Then it's my job to take him out of the ballgame. And, Brian's the new starter out there and has played limited minutes for the last 3 months, and he's not quite on beam with his shot. He got a few layups to go for him. He's not quite there with his outside shooting. So, that's what's going to happen. We're going to have contribution from those three players or the players off the bench that come off the bench to help us win.
These 3 championships have rarely come easily from whatever single games you're way behind or Game 7s in Sacramento and things like that. Is there any sense that you now start drawing from that, or are you afraid guys start to look toward the end, that 2 games away or whatever it may be?
No, we just have to focus on the fact there's one game. That's game on Friday. That's what it's all about. They're going to come up there and, their accomplishment is to find a way to get their game in our court. We came here to get a game on this court. We didn't get it on Monday. Tonight we didn't have a shot. We didn't have a chance to get it. So, we have to go back and do the same thing on our court. We seal them out and come back here with a Game 5 situation where we're going to take a game from them on the home court. That's the way you play these series when they're like this. And they were prepared to play an extremely good game, and they were quick to the ball and more active than we were in the first half.
Are you shocked?
Well, Phil, in his career, has certainly worked well in crisis management situations. I think he certainly has one here. Back with Fred Carter. You heard Phil say we need production from the other 3 starters and off the bench. I have a question. You've got 2 of the best players on the planet, and the rest of your team is shooting about 40%. Why not let Kobe and Shaq each shoot it 40 times a game?
And that's what it might get to. But first of all, what you've got to do is they've got to play the game, again, the old-fashioned way, inside out. That means put the ball in the big fella's hands. Let him command the presence of the defense. Now when the ball comes outside, he'll be able to get guys shots that they couldn't get in the gym by themselves. As far as Kobe Bryant is concerned, by those guys not being able to dribble score themselves or get shots, it's putting the ball in his hands too often and forcing him to take too many shots. Somewhere along the game is still a game of basketball between the white lines, 94-50. Put it in the big guy's hands and let him create for you.
We kind of have forgotten a little bit about the regular season struggles, and for so long, the Lakers have just kind of cruised through the regular season. Well, this year, that wasn't the case. They really had to fight, really had to play. Any chance that this is a fatigued basketball team right now, and perhaps that reserve that they draw on in the postseason is a little down?
Well, it's affecting them in a different way, I think, because they kind of coasted during the regular season, knowing the level of play they could get to in the playoffs. But what happens? Injuries happen. And all of a sudden now, they can't reach back there. Why? Because they're not a unit. So all of a sudden now, you got to go to your bench and have guys swimming in deep water that have never been in there before. They don't want to go off the diving board into that water. So all of a sudden, it forces some of your veteran players to play. Robert Horry right now is struggling. They need offense from him. And then Brian Shaw has not been an offensive player. So all of a sudden, you cannot expect Brian Shaw to start making shots. And of course, the other guys, Kareem Rush, no, not ready.
Well, we certainly won't write them off. A resilient bunch. They lost big in their home floor to Minnesota, got on 2-1, and came through just fine. Fred, stick around because we need an NBA presence, and I did not play in the league. When we return here on SportsCenter, hopefully Kobe or Shaq will come to the podium. We'll hear from them. Plus, MJ looking for work. Unbelievable.
The Revolution Massaging Showerhead from Moen. Get water to spin, twist, and twirl. It will reinvent your whole day. The Revolution Massaging Showerhead from Moen. Buy it for looks, buy it for life.
I printed and collated the color report that won the big account and got us into a larger office. And this is the respect I get? I need a hug.
Toshiba copiers make you look good.
Time. It's always against you, especially when you want to be on vacation. Just go to Hertz.com and sign up for Hertz #1 Club with Express Service. It's free. You'll spend less time at the counter. Get special discounts, too. At Hertz, we know exactly how you feel, so we have exactly what you need.
ESPN presents Stadium Anthems, a rockin' collection of sports' greatest songs, including Get Ready for This, We Will Rock You, Start the Commotion, and more. ESPN Stadium Anthems, available May.
Here's what's playing this month on Insights On Demand TV. I want to show you something. You can start any movie anytime you want. Even pause, rewind, and fast forward, all with your Insight digital remote. No VCR or DVD player required.
Oh, don't tell me you're falling for the guy. It's complicated.
She's about 5'6", really beautiful. Just find her.
On Demand TV, only on Insight Digital Cable. What's your insight?
Some people like perfect order in their world, while others are a bit more relaxed. Whatever your style, you'll always feel at home at McDonald's.
Now at McDonald's, get a delicious double cheeseburger for only $1. That's just $1 for the big beefy taste of our double cheeseburger. Just one of the many tasty items you'll find on McDonald's dollar menu.
Welcome back to SportsCenter. We hope to hear from Shaquille O'Neal live at the podium on the Lakers' loss to San Antonio. But first this, it was strange when the news first came down. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player ever to play the game and the all-time biggest economic draw in the game, was tossed aside today like a scrap piece of paper. The Washington Wizards cut ties with MJ after 3.5 seasons of failed dreams, 0 playoff appearances, and player dissension. When he got word, Jordan jumped in his convertible and exited the offices of the Wizards for good. It won't take long for Jordan to drive straight to his next challenge. He's already been offered a job with the NBA's expansion team in Charlotte if he wants it. Said owner and friend Robert Johnson, Michael can play any role he wants to play. Now, Jordan issued a statement after the Wizards made him disappear. Said, Jordan, it was well understood that when I finished playing, I would return as president of basketball operations, and this was definitely my desire and intention. However, today, without any prior discussion with me, ownership informed me that it had unilaterally decided to change our mutual long-term understanding. I am shocked by this decision and by the callous refusal to offer me any justification for it. Still to come. Don't go away. We hope to hear from Shaq and the rest on the Lakers' huge loss to San Antonio. They're in an 0-2 hole going back to L.A.
Who's a baller and who's a shot caller? ESPN the magazine. On newsstands now.
Sunday, it's the season finale of Dragnet. Joe Friday will lie.
4 dead, no suspect.
He will cheat.
I trust you, but this could be a terrible mistake.
He will kill.
He violated the law.
His pursuit of justice could cost him everything.
Was it worth it?
The Dragnet season finale, Sunday at 10/9 Central on ABC.
This is a bottle of Powerade. On it, you will note the word Matrix, leading some of you to inquire, what is the Matrix? Rest assured, there is no Matrix. So, why is it on the bottle? A good question. One that requires knowledge of such things as strategized marketecture. Regardless, all you need to know is this. Drink more Powerade.
Sourdough bread. Burgers just taste better cooked over an open fire. This burger is so juicy.
The sourdough bacon cheeseburger is back at Burger King. A 1/4 pound of beef, Swiss cheese, and 4 strips of bacon served on buttery toasted sourdough bread. Only back for a limited time.
The power is in your hands. The Wagner Wide Shot Power Painter. Professional results in about 1/3 of the time. The one and only Wagner Power Painter. For guys who like to run wide open.
Come on, Dad. You can do it. Faster, Dad. Keep going, Dad. Let's go, Dad. Ring the bell at the top. That's my dad. He's going all the way up. You're going all the way up to the top, right, Dad?
At least you can count on Toro mowers. Guaranteed to start on the first or second pull. Or we'll fix it free.
You see an energy crisis crippling a city. At Franklin Templeton Investments, we saw a chance to uncover value in a troubled utility through the hands-on approach of our Mutual Series fund managers. Generating returns for shareholders in situations like this requires a unique perspective, the kind that has made Mutual Series a leader in value investing. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective.
The only SUV with a 10-year warranty. Dual front and side curtain airbags. And a standard V6. All for under $21,000. Where will it take you? Right now, get 0% financing or up to $2,000 cash back on the Kia Sorento.
Spurs go up 2-0 in their series with the Lakers. Bruce Bowen, 27 points, the high man for San Antonio. Shaq had 27, but as you see there, came up 19 points short on the scoreboard. Shaq down 0-2.
Is it almost like it's coming apart at the seams now?
Not really. You know, we're just down, 2 games. We really haven't played well at all. And, we have, 2 games here at home to, get back on track.
How much did those 2 fouls early affect you offensively?
Not at all. It's just kind of funny that one guy called all 4 fouls. But I'm going to continue to play my game. And if they want to, protect the floppers, then that's just what they have to do. But I will never, ever change my game, ever. So if that's how they call it, that's how they call it.
Shaq had 27, as did Kobe. A little something about Phil Jackson. He has been down 0-2 before. It just hasn't happened very often or very recently. Back in '94, Bulls got down 0-2 to the Knicks, lost that series. I believe it was Suns. Michael, won one of those the year before against the Knicks, so he's, you see, fall down 0-2. He's 1-2.
Can't wait for game 3, which is Friday, still ahead. Kobe Bryant, John mentioned he scored 27 in the loss. We're hoping he comes to the podium. You'll hear from him.
From now on, long-distance, local, and high-speed internet will be together. Voice and data networks for companies large and small will be together. The innovations of one of the world's largest internet providers and the simplicity of one global network will be together. Together, under one name. MCI.
Introducing Intel Centrino mobile technology. The new wireless laptop technology designed to help you untangle, unburden, and unwire your life.
Fred Couples and ESPN are searching for America's best amateur twosome in the ESPN National Golf Challenge. Participate in May at a course near you and qualify for the championship in Simi Valley July 15th. To register, log on to ESPN.
Hot, humid summer days can be very uncomfortable, but don't sweat it. Call Griffith Electric to service or repair your air conditioner, even when everyone else has failed. They've been in the business of comfort for nearly 20 years, have a reputation of honesty, and an experienced staff that do the job right the first time. You'll feel comfortable knowing you've hired the best. Such a cool thing to do.
Pride in performance, Griffith Electric. Oh yeah.
8 days, 8 big days. The Bob Roman Auto Group Spring Savings Celophane. Financing as low as 0 APR or savings up to $10,000. Toyotas, Hondas, Jeeps, Lincolns, Mercury's, Subarus, Mitsubishis, Hyundais, Kias, Suzuki's, and even Saturns.
There's only one Bob Roman.
The Bob Roman Auto Group, Sagamore Parkway, Teal Road, Greasy Lane, Lafayette.
Lakers have fallen down in their series against the Spurs 0-2. We have heard from Phil Jackson. We have heard from Shaquille O'Neal, which means we only need to hear from
Kobe Bryant.
So we will hopefully get to that if he gets showered up and gets out of the podium. In the meantime, I believe we have other sports happening this evening.
Yes, baseball. How about the Reds? 2 walk-off homers in the last 2 games. Facing the Cardinals, Ken Griffey Jr. still rehabbing. He took shag fly balls. Jamin Simon Tachi on the hill for the Cards. 4-0 in his career record in May. No score, nobody on for Aaron Boone. That's okay. 7th home run of the season for Boone. 1-0 Reds. Bottom of the 4th, same score. Boone on first. Adam Dunn at the plate. Simon Tachi tries to pick off Boone. That was his first mistake. By Tino Martinez. Boone goes all the way to 3rd. The first career error for Simon Tachi, ending that Cardinals streak of 63 2/3 errorless innings. Boone would lay to score. Simon Tachi then hits Boone in the left shoulder, but nobody on. Next batter, Dunn. They should call him all or nothing, because it's all or nothing. His 10th home run of the year, but he's also struck out a Major League leading 47 times. The Reds with their NL leading 50th homer in 34 games. They ended up winning in this game by the score of 4-2. Now let's get you out to San Antonio and Kobe Bryant.
There's more to it.
It's nothing more than that. You know, they cut us up tonight. They got a lot of fast break points. You know, that's something that we have to limit.
Bowen really seemed to blow this game open early with all the 3-pointers. Looked like he was open on a lot of those. What was the defensive strategy with regard to him versus doubling Tim versus whatever else was going on?
Well, I mean, it was the same as ever. I think they were just more aggressive tonight. Collectively, it seemed like they were more aggressive to shoot the ball. You know, Bowen goes 7 for 8 from threes. That's a hot hand.
Like every shot's a struggle for you right now.
No, I mean, every shot's contested, which is fine. I mean, it's part of playoff basketball, so it doesn't bother me too much. Sometimes you go in, sometimes you don't.
Kobe, have you guys kind of underestimated Manu Ginobili and the younger players on this team?
No, I think Ginobili's he's a good player. You know, you have to give credit where credit's due. We'll obviously do some things a little differently as far as finding some energy to come in and match his energy when he comes in the game. But you know, he's a good player. He's gonna do some positive things out there. It's just important that we limit that.
I know you guys are trying to wring as much as possible out of the bench, given the losses of Devin and Rick and whatever. But are there times out there on the floor you're looking around and you can't even fathom who's standing next to you and what you're trying to get accomplished, and wondering who you can rely on, who can get a shot down, who can defend?
No, we have no time to think about that. We just go out there and play collectively. Now, you know, Kareem and Pargo, they were a little discouraged after the first time they checked in the game. You know, but this is really their first time competing against a team of San Antonio's caliber in a pressure situation of this magnitude. You know, so we expected them to be a little nervous, a little jittery, make some mistakes. But they'll learn from this game and, you know, have a better show in the next one.
What were you trying to accomplish in the last 5 minutes? There was a stretch there, 5:20 to 3 before you sat down for good.
You just play hard. You play the final buzzer. You know, you don't go out there and loaf around. You know, even if the score could be down 30 points or, you know, whatever. You still go out there and you play. And you play as if it's a one-point game. I wanted my teammates to understand that. And, you know, for them to play just as hard.
Any positives that you guys can take out of this game tonight?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they held serve here on their home court. You know, now as the pressure's on us, the whole serve on our home court.
Last series, Garnett talked about having you guys on the ropes, and you admitted, yes, you were on the ropes, but that was okay. Are you feeling sort of the same sensation right now?
Well, the way I'm feeling right now is more like, you know, it's been a lot said as far as us missing shots. You know, yeah, we're getting fouled. Sometimes they're called, sometimes they're not. Yeah, San Antonio's a deeper team. They're more athletic now. And yeah, we have two of our key members of the ball club out. But that doesn't change our fight. They held serve here, you know, home here in San Antonio. Now we're gonna go back to LA, take them one game at a time and hold serve there.
Was the fight there tonight, do you feel?
We kept fighting. You know, they just cut us up. They got a lot of easy opportunities on a fast break and transition game. We didn't have to make them, they didn't have to grind it out in a half-court setting. They got a lot of easy opportunities, a lot of easy looks at the basket.
How much more do you think you can contribute to that energy factor, particularly at the 3 matchup?
I have to give it all I have. I have to give it all I have. You know, I'll probably play 48 minutes or something like that. But you know me, I'm bouncing off the walls anyway.
You guys preach the system and 5 men on the floor and all that stuff, but at the end I saw you put your arm around Shaq, and clearly this is going to be up to you two guys. This is going to have to go through you, whether it's offensively, defensively, whatever. What's the sense of you two together now, moving on from 0-2?
I mean, you know, what I said to him was, you know, there's a lot of reasons for us not to win this series. So with that being said, let's go win it. Basically, that's the gist of the message. I mean, we're down 0-2. We have 2 of our key members out. You know, this is an opportunity for us to make history. We shouldn't view it as any different. We should view this as an opportunity right now to do something great.
You can catch the rest of the Kobe Bryant news conference on ESPN News.
That's right. The Spurs have done it in San Antonio. Now can they do it in front of, you know, Jack Nicholson and company? They're down ahead in this series 2-0, trying to sweep away the Lakers just as they did during the regular season.
We're up, but Steve and Neil are coming right in.
What's good?
Sam? Subway's new Italian urban cheese. The taste will bring you to your knees. Garlic, oregano, rosemary spice. Fresh baked with Monterey and cheddar cheese is so nice. Great bread makes a sandwich a true taste delight. You'll see for yourself with just one bite. Step right up. No one makes them like Sam. Whether a BMT, meatball, or my favorite, ham.
I told you he was the one to ask.
Subway, eat fresh! Going a full 12 rounds is all about stamina. That's why I like high endurance from Old Spice. No deodorant protects better. And it lasts longer because it evaporates more slowly. Want proof? If you're not convinced, Old Spice will buy you a stick of your old stuff. Let me put it this way. My endurance lasts longer than I do. But I'm working on that.
And start your day with new body wash and body spray from Old Spice. Spice things up.
What Barry Bonds is doing at his age is just plain stupid. 73 bombs 2 years ago. A batting title last year. 5 MVPs, and he should have 7. The best player in baseball shouldn't be nearly 40.
Love him, hate him, you gotta watch him. Rome is burning. Tuesdays at 7 Eastern. Jim Rome is back on ESPN.
You know, ideas and inventions come from people in all walks of life, and most of the century's top inventions came from individuals, not companies. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? Are you interested in trying to submit your idea to companies for a good faith review and in trying to patent it as well? If so, Invention Submission Corporation has information to help you get started. ISC is America's largest inventor service firm with over 50 offices nationwide. Call this toll-free number now to see how to get this free information. The information includes forms to assure confidentiality, a form to record and date your idea, plus an informative brochure that explains how to submit your idea to companies through ISC's data bank and how to apply for a patent. Even if you only have an idea for improving an existing product, you'll want to call now for ISC's free information.
For your free information, call Invention Submission Corporation at 1-800-554-9000. That's 1-800-554-9000.
SportsCenter is a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, now available at MSN.com. SportsCenter.
Battle of the big men. Shaq tries to get even with